Welcome to the Live Bright Show, the pod for badass service-based entrepreneurs who are creating businesses and lives that are fun, successful, and free. And now your host, seven-figure business owner, coach, and founder of the Live Bright movement, here to help you own your potential, Moran.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Live Bright Show. Today I am super stoked. I got Dan Platta from Best Damn Bookkeeping. Dan is a podcaster. He's a professional speaker. He's a former window cleaning business owner, I think. He owns Best Damn Bookkeeping, which is a company that, quote, makes bookkeeping not suck. He's a hunter. He's a devoted father and husband. He's funny at AF. He's a lot more than what I just said, but welcome to the show, Dan. I'm so glad you're here.
My sock game isn't at Molly's level, though. I still need to up my sock game.
Your what game? Oh,
my sock game. Every time I see you, you got like a badass pair of socks on, and I'm very envious. They're like black. Oh man, I'm just not flexible. They're just like black and gray, just super lame socks.
They are. You know, what do I have on today? Oh yeah, I got some good socks on today. I got some.
I bet you do. I
got some cacti. You know what? My sock game. It's funny. I was on stage at a conference, and I was wearing some socks that may or may not have had the F-bomb on them. And several people noticed you were among them. And since then, people send me socks, and it's really fun. So now I have multiple pairs of the same socks, because usually there's like swear words involved with the socks that I receive at this point. And yeah, so socks are fun, and they can be so expressive. Maybe I should make some Live Bright socks. Would you wear some Live Bright socks, Dan?
Oh hell yeah. All
right. You want like just stars all over them? Like,
yeah, I want to have zero input on what's on the socks. I totally would trust your judgment on that.
Okay. All right.
But all right. I feel like socks are such a subtle way to like send a message, because they're just like 90% hidden until you like put one leg over the other, and all of a sudden like that ankle part shows. And it's just like, bam, there it is.
Right.
Otherwise, it's like a tattoo in a spot, but you kind of want people to see it, but not really.
Right. Yeah, no, awesome. You're so, I think I might have to add socks to my gear game, some Live Bright socks. I got shirts. I might need to add some socks. I think that could be really fun, actually.
I like it.
All right, enough about me. Okay, awesome. Well, then I will definitely. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna have my assistant work on that, because that's what I do now. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. All right, Dan. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about you a little bit. For those people who don't know you, just tell us briefly what Best Damn Bookkeeping is, and give us a little overview there, would you?
I think Best Damn Bookkeeping is a finance company, and I think bookkeeping gets misconstrued as accounting all the time, because people are like, oh, it's bookkeeping, it's boring, it's something I got to do because my accountant said so. And the fact of the matter is, like, your accountant can do taxes with bank statements and a box full of receipts. Bookkeeping is the number one tool for the business owner to make decisions and run their business better. It tends to get put off because our employees don't give a shit and our customers don't give a shit if we have good books. It's only for the business owner, and it makes like the tax person's life a little bit easier, but you know, there's just a tax person. Who cares about?
Right. Who cares about them?
Yeah. Except for my tax person. I care about my tax person.
Right. Of course.
But so I very much, and like coming into the small business world, bookkeeping is like the number one thing that I'm looking at to see how we are doing and who I'm holding accountable and what works and what doesn't work. And so I think there's, like I said, it's really a finance thing. There's like a timeliness aspect of, we need that data, and the bigger our business gets, the more we need it. Because if we're off by, you know, let's say we're $100,000 company and we're off by 1%. Okay, $1,000 is not life-changing money. Well, all of a sudden we're $1 million company and we're off by 1%. That's 10 grand, right? The dollars don't lie. All of a sudden, like, the bookkeeping gets more and more and more important, and you have more and more people spending your money as the business gets bigger. And so you got to know what's working and what's not, and who's working and who's not working. So that's how I look at it. I think it's a finance thing. I think it's the best tool we got to run our business.
I completely agree with you. You know, I so agree. And I've like, for my cleaning company as a small business owner, like, it is one of my, it's one of the things I'm in all the time, not like doing the bookkeeping, but looking at the reports, looking at the numbers, and looking at the percentages, because that's how I guide my business, right? Like, oh, we could cut a percentage here and holy cow, that's like 20 grand or whatever it is. Right. And it makes, it's kind of fun, and it certainly tells about the health of your business, for sure.
I have a love-hate relationship with percentages, because I feel like they can be weaponized. They can be used in inaccurate ways. Like, right, there's like the saying, like, the 80% of statistics are made up or whatever. And so I think percentages can be used very misleadingly. And I've also found that every time I've tried to take percentages to the bank, they don't actually accept percentages. They only accept dollars, it turned out. And so I think like percentages can be dangerous, but so that's just one side of it. This is why I have a love-hate with them, is because I've seen them be used incorrectly. Like, one that gets used incorrectly all the time is ROI. Like, what's my ROI? And people use revenue instead of return, and it just drives me nuts, because I'm like, no, like, that marketing's not working. It didn't 10x. Like, you're talking about your revenue. The fact of the matter is you didn't actually make any money doing that. Like, you're using the percentage wrong and you don't understand it. And so I think where percentages can be helpful, if people actually understand what the hell they mean, is our brain likes them because it's a relationship between two things. And so we can then make sense of it quickly. Whereas dollars can be more confusing because they get bigger, and it's like, how does this compare to that? Right. And so the percentage creates the comparison immediately. So I think they're nifty in that sense. But like I said, you can't take a percentage to the bank. They still work in dollars.
And percentages can be weaponized. You heard that here first. That's good. So then what would you say to a small business owner? Like, I want you to go into that a little bit deeper in a more practical sense. Like, because I use percentages, and there are certain ones, and maybe it's just because I'm not finishing my sentence. So I have a very good sense of how to run a business, what my P&L looks like, what my balance. I understand, for the most part, the financial aspect of my business because I've been in it and I've learned about it, and I've had good people to support me. And I actually use percentages. I know that, for example, certain percentages will change depending on the size of my business, of course, because certain costs don't change, or they do change. And so I have maybe a slightly more advanced view of that. Like, I know rent at 5% is insane in my mind, but if you're $100,000 company and you have a rent at 5%, and then you have $1 million company, well, that's now 1%, and it's the same size place, and maybe it serves you perfectly, and you don't need to change that percentage, right? So there's a lot more money that can be earned there. But what would you say to a small business owner who's trying to figure out how to navigate some of that stuff?
I like percentages for the things you just talked about, where you're like, from a business model perspective, are we spending the right amount on this area? And to exactly your point, those ranges are going to change. When we do our bookkeeping, we have a dashboard that we send our clients, and we send it with a video every month. So we like talk our clients through the story of their data, and it's color coded. It's like, it's percentage based ranges. And if you're outside of the range, it starts coloring it yellow. And if you get too far out, it colors it red. Like, hey, your percentage is way high. Or if you beat the percentage target, it'll color it green. So we definitely use percentages all over the place, because what our cost of goods sold is, for instance, is directly related to the amount of revenue we create. And we know we got to keep that in check. So again, like, when we're comparing two things to say, out of how much money I make, am I spending the right amount on rent or something like that? The percentage works good. Where it can fall apart is in employee facing things and in incentive things. Percentages can start to not make sense anymore, and sometimes can really not make sense to the employees, because they don't think in percentages. They're thinking like, what's my paycheck look like? Right? Totally. As the business owner, you're like, I know I need to keep this within this percentage. And even when we do like commission-based pay per performance style stuff, there's always a percentage behind it. But it goes back to, we're trying to like hit this target business model that we have in mind. But not all, right? You don't, when you're working with a customer, you're not like, hey, Mrs. Jones, we're going to charge you 55%.
All right.
Like, that's right. Like, it's like what? Excuse me? What? Like, no, it's always a dollar amount. Right. And so when we're talking to other humans that aren't running a business, they want to hear stuff in dollars. Like, what are you going to charge me? How much is my paycheck going to be? When you're looking at your numbers as a business owner, to like cut to the chase really fast, the dollars aren't as important as the relationship between the $2. And so the percentage cuts that like time you need to think about it in half. But it does, they can be confusing when you haven't looked at them enough, right? Like
Right.
early on, we're all used to looking at dollars. We're not like the percentage can be
Right.
really misleading to a new business owner. And so
Totally.
it's like you got to get used to like what the range is. And to your point, you got to be comfortable with the fact that the percentage isn't always going to tell you what you want. Not that you need to like force it to be something, but rent is the best example. When you first rent a location, it's going to probably be 5 or 6%, and you're going to go, oh shit. Because rent, you can't tell Mrs. Jones, hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm actually going to charge you a little bit more. I rented this sweet shop. You're going to love it. Oh, just kidding. You never come here because I clean your house, right? Like your
Right.
customers don't care. It's nice for employee engagement, but when you first rent that location, your fixed overhead goes way up and you can't charge your customer anymore because they don't care. It doesn't do them
Right.
any good, right? So it just comes out of your pocket, but to your point, like if you're at 5% rent, you're like, okay, well, I can either go cancel that rent agreement, but that I just made and whatever fee I'd have to pay. Like I'm kind of committed to that. So now what do I need to grow my revenue to be able to get my rent back down to 2%?
Right.
Well, I got to grow by 250% to get my rent back down there. And I'm at 100,000 in revenue right now. So I got to get this thing to 250,000 to actually like be able to afford this location I just rented. And so I like to use percentages that way that it like once we understand the relationship between them, it tells us where we need to get because
Yeah.
we're building this business model. And if it's not in check, like marketing's a good one too. If I'm spending 10% on marketing, cool, I'm being pretty aggressive. Well, it's an investment. And last time I checked, when we invest money, we're trying to like use it to make more money. If you're spending
Right.
10% on marketing and your revenue's flat, well, that tells us that your marketing's probably not working and we should,
Right.
and then you should look at the dollars. What's the client acquisition cost, right? Now you can get into actually like, what's the ROI if your marketing company doesn't lie to you and try to tell you that it's revenue on investment.
Right.
I see that all the time. We're going to 10X. It's like, no, you're not. Like, just quit lying to people. I guess they're marketing companies. Of course they're marketing.
Right.
But so like I said, it's there's different situations where different ones are useful. And so I think it's just being careful that you're not telling yourself, and I see this happen with numbers all the time, is people try to use them to like tell themselves the story they want to hear instead of like letting the numbers tell them the story and then reacting as the business owner to like,
I've done that.
right? Like I'm high on admin. I have a guy, this is super true story. Met with him on Monday. We meet every single month.
Super
His
true.
cost,
Sorry.
super true. His cost of goods sold. Actually, when I was at CBF Live a couple of years ago, I mentioned him when I was up on stage. He grew a business really fast, like went from 0 to 2 million revenue in like a couple of years. And I was like, how much money do you think that guy's making? And everybody's like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm like, no, he lost 300 grand last year. Like the faster you grow, the more money you lose. Lose isn't the right word. The more money it costs. Like
Right.
it takes a
It's
lot
an
of money
investment.
to
It takes a lot
grow a
to
business,
grow
right?
fast. Yeah.
And so he has this conundrum where like he's in pressure washing. His cost of goods sold is at 40%. It's like world class. I've seen a couple pressure washing companies get below 40%, but it's really, really hard to do. And he's doing a couple million. Like he's really, really dialed. His admin cost is 30%. 30% between his sales and office staff and him. And I'm like, man, you need to get like, you can live at 20%. Oh, and he also spends 14% on marketing. So between the getting the leads and converting leads and managing the business, 44%. He pays more for that than he does to actually deliver the service. By the time he pays his infrastructure, there's no money left. It's a break-even business. And when we were on the call, he's like, I think I can get a little more fuel efficient. And I was like, dude, like you're at 40% COGS. And when we talk power washing, we always put the fuel and the supplies because it's like so tight to that service delivery, like they're in the cost of goods sold bucket. I'm like,
Yep.
There's nothing you need to change there. You are world class. You're like tripping over dollars here. Like you have way too many people administratively that should be, I mean, you have all this team. I don't know how they're not growing you to be a $3 million business because that's where you got to get to be able to afford this team. But it looks more like this is where you got 10%. Which of you have $200,000 of waste here at least, and you're trying to save $5,000 up here in fuel. Like,
right.
I would try to get this. I would try to get this $200,000, man. And so where the books can go sideways is people try to like move stuff around to tell themselves the story they want to hear instead of just accepting the story the data is telling you. And then you got to decide, Am I willing to sacrifice the profitability of this business to employ all these people? Do I need to push them harder? Do I have the wrong people on the team? But there's a
Right.
decision, like, I'm a classic rock guy. I like my Rush.
Okay.
And in the song
All
Free Will
right.
by Rush, they say, if you
Okay.
choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Uh,
And it's one of my favorite lyrics and quotes because, like, if you choose not to do anything about this admin, you still made a choice,
That's a decision. Yeah.
which is your $2 million business is going to make $0 for a long time. If you're just
Yep.
going to like let these people hang out here and not hold them accountable to growing to be $3 million or not firing two of them. I think you got to
Hmm.
there's $200,000 of waste there. I don't know what you're paying these people and what they're doing, but they ain't doing, like, this is just an investment. They ain't growing that revenue. So I can tell you the investment ain't working. And then it's on the business owner to figure out what the hell to do. But it is funny how, like I said, percentages can be weaponized. They can be
Yes,
weaponized.
yes, they can. And I love that example, Dan. And I think it's like, it's a great one, especially for, smaller businesses where and I'm saying 2 million as I'm calling that a small business too. Like anything, I mean, I don't know what the official definition is, but
We're
anything
all
under,
small.
we're
Yeah.
all small, right? And so, but smaller businesses where the owners are still involved in either leading or managing or maybe even operating, they often I have seen and I've experienced, I've done this in the past myself. Like, you have a relationship because you are helping and assisting in the day to day with these other people. And so you're looking at the percentages and you're like, crap, like my admin, like I freak out if my admin gets up to 14%. I am not a fan of it that high, right? Like, so I'm like, my admin is creeping up there and I'm not getting the return on investment over here, or maybe I'm not using that correct term, but our revenue is not matching where it needs
Yeah,
to be
we're not.
matched for this kind of
Yep.
investment.
Yep.
And it becomes, and rather than just using the numbers, because the numbers don't really lie, like
No.
whether, you're looking at the cash or the percentage, but rather than using that to help guide the decision, I think so many owners look at themselves, look at what else they can do, because firing somebody is like the last thing anyone wants
We
to do,
suck at
right?
that. We're the worst.
We're the worst, right? Totally, totally. Um, awesome. Well, thanks for going into that. And I have a kind of a random question follow up to that. Like, do you use the same kind of principles to manage your own personal finances, like with you and your family?
No, I actually suck at it. Actually, I shouldn't say I suck at it. I think I just take it for granted because I used to be like really on top of it and really dialed in on it. Um, and then just because it was so consistent, I kind of stopped paying attention to it. I don't like
Yeah.
systemize my life in the same way that I do my business. Um, it's like, well, especially now that this business is all mine, right? Like my previous business, I got a paycheck and I had like a small part of it. This one's all mine, and so I'm more looking at this business as my livelihood, and so therefore, like, my
Right.
personal finances are tied to this, and so I am running it like a business. But I'm like the weirdest finance dude in that I am zero money motivated. I just really don't care. Um, and I think part of that is that between my wife and I, we make enough, and I just don't. I watch people that only, like, their goal is make more money, and I'm like, man, they're miserable, and I'm way more happy than them. So I should probably keep doing what I'm doing and not like money
Yep.
just is never the goal. It's a result, but I don't set. And this is true in our business. We actually we have 2 team meetings a week, um, and our bookkeepers are through Unique Genius virtual assistants over in the Philippines, and they have to fill out like a daily report for Unique Genius, and one of it is like, what are the quarterly goals for the company? And so Shane, who's our manager, was like, what do we put for this? Because you don't give us like a revenue target, like, or a profitability target. And I'm like, I don't want you worried about any of that. Um, I'm not even worried about it. You have one metric, and I think this should be true for maid service businesses too. You have one metric: client attrition. If you lose 0 clients, your business, like, the revenue will figure itself out. The profit will figure itself out. Again, I probably take it for granted because I know exactly what the business model should look like. I don't have to think
Right.
twice about it. Um, and so I want my entire team focused on making sure we set really good expectations and deliver them. And if that's all we ever worry about, the revenue is just going to it's just going to happen. It already,
Right.
we're a little over a year and we have 160 clients, and we'll probably be at $1 million pace by the end of this year. Like, it will do itself. We just have
Right.
to, we just have like, we're not called super good average bookkeeping. Like we're best damn bookkeeping, and we have to do that. Debbie actually said something one time. Debbie Sardone, I was watching her at a conference. It wasn't at CBF. It was a different conference I saw her at. And she had said, like, make sure you don't make a brand promise that you can't keep. Because so many people like their brand promises perfection. And she's like, you can only promise what your worst employee can deliver on their worst day. And that hit home. And so I was a little worried about going with a name like Best Damn Bookkeeping. I went with it because it's edgy and funny and goofy, and it's
Yeah.
there's a beer mug in the logo. Like
Right.
it's just
Nice.
Dan.
Yeah.
It's Dan. But I was like, you know what? But our clients actually deserve that. Like, I don't want to create an average brand and then like hide from it with a different brand message. I want to have the best bookkeeping company. So I do need to
Right.
make that promise, because I need to make sure that we're constantly striving for that. And we had to fire somebody yesterday, super good person. And it was really quick. I mean, with us for less than a month. And it was just like, yep, it's not a good fit. We got to move on. And so I was challenging our team. Like, we have 15 people on the team. And it's kind of funny. I'm like, I have to remind them, because they'll get like frustrated when things are perfect. I'm like, you guys, we're all new. All of us are new. This business is a year and 3 months old. Like, like there's a few of us that have hit the year mark here. So
Right.
like, it's okay if shit's not perfect and it's broken. Like, it's our responsibility to fix it and grow it. But the most important thing whether it's a maid service business or a bookkeeping business or a window cleaning and power washing business, all of our businesses in the home service space are only as good as our employees. I'm probably a little bit biased in this too, because I own part of Higher Lead Chill. And so I think about recruiting all the time. And our duty to our team and to our customers is to recruit the best people in the world. And again, like, if we do that, and if we protect our A players by not giving them shitty coworkers, we protect our clients by making sure we hire people that can deliver an awesome service. We protect all of our great players by not giving them a shitty coworker that they're going to have to constantly be covering for.
Right.
And our client attrition goes way down. Again, the revenue and the profitability takes care of itself. Like, the business model isn't rocket science. It's just like, build the best possible engine you can, and the car is going to go. Like, it's not hard to put gas in it. We know how to put gas in a car, but the engine's got to work, and we got to scrutinize that part of it. And if we get that part right, the rest really takes care of itself. And then it's a lot more fun, because I think we've also probably all run a business where we didn't have the best employees in the world, and it really sucked. Yeah,
It
I've
does.
had
And
some of those.
yeah, no, me too. And thanks for mentioning the Higher Lead Chill. I completely forgot about that one. I don't know where my brain was, but I love that what you said. I want to go back about, like, you're brand new, you're not going to be perfect. And I think that that's something that a lot of folks struggle with. In fact, I actually just recorded a podcast this morning, like a solo one, talking to that about perfectionism. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, no one's perfect. Like, and even striving for that is unrealistic and I think harmful in a lot of ways. And so I'm super glad you brought that up. And I'm wondering what you and your team saw in that person that needed to go so quickly, and how you made that decision so quickly. Like, and was it a fit? Was it like you're bringing the team down, like you just said, or talk about that a little bit?
In this case, it was actually really interesting, because we kind of had two people that, like, were totally different cases, and we made two totally different decisions, but challenges going on with both of them. The one that we let go was a new hire and just didn't have the skill set. Core value fit, culture fit, didn't have the skill set, didn't have the willingness to ask for help. Like, fell behind, didn't ask for help, and out of their own uncertainty. And so it's like, you always have to choose who can actually deliver that service, right? That's like a barrier to entry. And we just effed up. And I told my team, like, I need you guys to tell me as soon as humanly possible when I have screwed up. Like, because right now I'm still the one saying this person or that person. And I plan on screwing up a lot. So like, be really comfortable with telling me, like, Dan, you effed this one up again. Like, that's okay. What's not okay is if we don't fix it, because then the longer it goes unfixed, the worse it is for their coworkers, and therefore the worse it is for the clients. And we, like, ultimately we owe this to the clients. We set expectations, we have to deliver them. And if we don't, we have to fix it as fast as humanly possible. And sometimes we're going to screw up and hire the wrong person. And I was trying to reiterate to them, it's like, we're not the best damn family. I mean, like, we're good, but I don't want us to refer to each other as like the family, right? I've done that in a previous business, and it gets dangerous because you can't fire family. We are a high performing team, and we are the best damn high performing team. And therefore, to keep our team performing highly, we need our high performing team to decide who gets to stay on the bus and who doesn't. And it's not me. Like, you guys need to tell me. It can't be me saying this person gets to stay or go. Like, you guys get to pick your team members, because they have to be able to play at your level, and you're going to see if they can play at your level. And I need you to tell me day one if you think they can't. Like, not that we're going to fire them day one, but like, we got to know what we're looking for in people, and we got to find a way to find that sooner rather than later. The longer it goes, if somebody can't hang, the longer we let them be here, the worse it is for them, right? Because they could be going and doing something that they're world class at, but instead we're holding them hostage here. Like, we owe it to them to get them off the bus if this isn't the right bus for them. And we owe it to you guys, because otherwise you're going to be stuck covering for them and trying to bring them along. And then the client's ultimately going to suffer. And so we can't have it. Like, ideally, we don't let people on the bus that are not right for the bus, but it's going to happen. And it's on all of us to solve it immediately if Dan screws that up, and whoever does our hiring in the future screws that up. Like, we have the ultimate accountability to the business to figure out who can be on our high performing team and who can't. And it's not because they're a bad person. Like, the gal we let go is an awesome person. And I mentioned we had two people. The other one has been with us for a while, had been a high performer, and then just really started struggling in December. And didn't ask for help right away. Kind of a pride thing. Was falling behind on some stuff and was just like cutting weird corners. But we've got a track record, right? We know what they're capable of, and we all run into this. We've all had these employees that have been like A players, and you're like, what is going on? And we didn't really know what was going on. Turned out she was getting married. Turned out her kid was in the hospital. Turned out she had a house manager and lost her house manager like right over the holidays, and so it was like totally scrambling. And again, just it was a pride issue and like a culture issue of not being willing to ask for help. And so we had some like heart to heart, strike one, strike two type of conversations. Like, I don't care what you're going through personally. We're a high performing team, which is made up of a bunch of high performing individuals, but we're all going to have shit that hits us sideways.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I will not fire you for having personal things going on. I have a lot of personal things going on. But I will fire you if you don't ask for help. Like, I just like, the client can't, we're a duck, right? We look calm and cool and collected and we're just doing our thing, but under the water, it's fine if we're doing this as a team. Like, we got to figure it out. We're kicking our feet like crazy, but the customer can't experience it. And if you don't ask for help and the customer experiences it, then we failed. Right. And so we just had to deliver that message, but we didn't let her go. It was just, hey, we got to get back on top of this and like send us the list of every client where you're a little bit behind. And it wasn't as big as it felt like, but it was just one of those things where it was like, like, what the hell's happening? How do we get so out of process? Right. And so, and it's always a bit of a judgment call. You never really, as a business owner, you don't know what the right answer is. Right? We're all just making it up as we go and trying to like be consistent, but we don't want to fire. We don't want to fire people. Nobody wants to
We
fire
don't want to. No, we
sucks.
don't. And it does suck. It's like, it's the worst actually. But you just gave like a phenomenal monologue on leadership and management and having your team involved. And, you're talking about the bus and my team, actually, we just read the energy bus together, and it's really, now everyone talks about the bus, right? And it's fantastic. And we're talking about it more from an energetic perspective, but we're moving into more accountability. And that's going to be a part of the bus conversations as well. And so anyone listening, I think, first of all, read the energy bus if you haven't read that, and I would re-listen to what Dan just said, because what you just talked about, you said several things. And one you said is, we're not a family. And I always push against the family stuff. Like, oh, we're a family. I'm like, then I feel like a jerk as the owner of the company, of my cleaning company, being like, we're not a family. Like,
we're way better than that. Families suck. They're dysfunctional. There's no system. There's no process. Nobody knows if the crazy uncle's showing up or not.
That's okay. So that's a good way to frame it. Cause I'm always like, I always feel bad when I'm like, listen, we're not a family. Like, you know, like,
I'm not adopting you.
Right. Because they're feeling so connected. And I'm like, no, like wrong analogy there. But it's true. Like, I love that. We're like the best damn high performing team. And yes, we are individuals and we all have shit that goes on in our life. And we can navigate that as a team too. Like, we can give some grace or we can whatever, but we have to take accountability and be clear about where we are. I love that. Thank you for that, Dan. I think that was like, there's so many nuggets in there. So thank you for that.
It's just this constant like struggle that we have as business owners, that we want everybody to like us. And we also have permanent dibs on being the bad person. Like, just by the nature of it, right? It's like, totally. If a bad message needs to get delivered, yeah, I can deliver that. I've delivered 1 billion of them. So what's another one?
Right.
But we hate it because we're trying to like build this culture and have positivity and do all that stuff. And then we're like, yeah, I got to fire somebody today. It's like you said, it's the worst thing. It is the worst thing.
It's really challenging.
It's interesting to me, and I always go back to the employee side of it. And again, I'm a little bit biased from owning part of a recruiting company, and I hang out with Sean all the time, and we're always talking recruiting. But the amount of sleep we lose over employee situations is so hilariously more than the amount of sleep we lose over client situations. Not that our clients aren't important to us, but like, we care so much about our employees and the amount of time we spend thinking about the right way to handle it, right? For like, what's right for that person, but what's the message to the entire team? Like, right. If we don't, it's funny to me how obvious it is when we put it that way. Like, that is who matters in our business. The clients are important, but who gives a shit about clients if we can't even like get the right people to go deliver the service? Like, everything starts with the employees, especially in our businesses. There's no, I told our team today, I was like, we don't have a product, you guys. There's no buffer between us and the client. The client experiences the people on this call. There's not, they can't exchange it. They can't manipulate it. They can't throw it out.
Right. You are the product. The people are the product.
Yeah. It's like, there's just no buffer. And so it's so important that we get that part of it right. And it just always cracks me up how most business owners spend way more on marketing than they do on recruiting. And then they complain, nobody wants to work. I can't find good employees. They keep quitting, whatever. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, like, who would want to work for you? You don't invest in them, and then you complain about them, and then you spend more on marketing that you can't even go clean or serve because you can't keep good employees because you're focusing on the wrong damn thing. Like, I see it over and over again.
Wow. Okay. You're blowing my mind a little bit there. So let's talk about that a little bit, the marketing versus recruiting budgets, because I think that, I mean, we both have been in the service industry. Like, you have a recruiting company, you have a bookkeeping company, obviously. You did own a window cleaning company that got bought out, right? And then you had partial ownership in the new company. Is that correct?
So I've got, at one point we had, I'll say, like, I think we had 7 entities, but between them, 10 different divisions. I think 6 or 7 were maid service and 3 or 4 were window cleaning, pressure washing, holiday lights. Okay. My wife hated when I was up on that 32-foot ladder. She was just like, what are you doing out there? You're a nerd. Like, get off that ladder, you nerd. But I like doing physical work. I like being out scrubbing toilets and doing whatever. But the one thing that always struck me, and part of the, I don't know the right word for it, but like this newfound glory of starting this new business that I have is, in my previous businesses, I always had partners, and they were truly like investors. They think like and you and I have talked a little bit about this over the years, Molly. Is like, everything was about money, which they're investors. They don't like, the people in the operation was never, and like, I won't say it wasn't important to them, but it wasn't nearly as important as it was to me, right? Like, when they're investors, it's just, how much money am I putting in and how much money am I getting back? And again, like, money is not a motivator to me. And eventually, it took way too long to realize that. I was like, oh, I'm not a good fit. I'm okay as an investor. I'm probably like the best investor because I don't expect anything back. But if I'm an operator, like, I can't really have investors because I will never serve them. They're not important to me. I don't want investors. I want to serve my team. I don't give a shit about right now. My wife is my only investor. She's the one that's stuck with me as the investor. I do give a shit about her, but she already knows what she signed up for. She's stuck with me now. But so to me, it's so fun when you get to like focus on the right people and enable that. And I found when I had business partners and we were so money focused, we didn't make the right decisions because it was short-sighted, right? We were trying to do marketing to grow our revenue, and we always were looking at our financials and looking at our financials. Not, of course, we should look at our financials, but it's just to help us make decisions to take care of people. We were looking at it like, when are we going to get our next distribution?
Right.
And it just felt icky to me. And I was the middleman, right? I'm the one leading all these people, but behind the scenes, I've got business partners that we're all we're going to talk about is money. And I was like, man, this just doesn't, like, something's not sitting with me right. And then the minute I was like, hey guys, I want to leave, it became really clear that it was just about the money. And I was like, oh shit, I should have seen this coming. But it's been nice now to like make it my own. Like I said, even in this business, it's not about the money to me. Like, the money is a result, it will come, but it's and I think this goes along with the theme of the show is there's like one principle here is that we just need to have as much fun as possible. And it's fun doing a good job. Like, it's really important that we do a good job. We're not here to like goof off, but like running a successful business is a lot of fun. And it's mostly fun because you have really good employees. Again, like, the clients you just want to take care of them, right? But if you take care of your team and you have an awesome team, the client thing figures itself out. Clients become really easy to work with because they're all getting an awesome team to work with. And so we have like zero client attrition. Just all we focus on is the team, and the money thing figures itself out. And it's been super refreshing. It's been so much fun to run that business. And again, the growth just kind of happens.
Well, I mean, you just said so many good things in there. Again, I gotta like interrupt you more or something so that I can cover them all.
I'm dangerous.
No, I know, but it's like, it's phenomenal. And I do think, I mean, obviously you're saying like the money will come or that's the result. And you are business. And so you do, even though you have one KPI, which is customer attrition, basically, and you're very people focused, the other kind of things that need to be in order and where your costs need to be in order to have a profitable business, right? I hear you saying like that's the result of the rest. And I just you have a lot more experience than than a lot of business owners and understanding those numbers. But I think it's so key. And so that sounded like I was I don't know, like talking you down or dressing you down a little bit, which I didn't mean to, but you have like a very sophisticated understanding of that stuff. But what I love what you're saying is like we're all in the people business. Like, that's what you're saying, right? And yeah, like in my house cleaning company, yeah, we clean toilets, we clean, offices, we clean all kinds of things, but I'm in the people business. Like, I'm in the sort of like, how can I make life better for my employees? And then the results will come, of course. And I think that so many people, especially when they're starting out, it's about making money, and it's coming from a much more scarce, desperate place of like needing to replace a paycheck or whatever it is. And they get away from that. And then the people end up being a pain in the butt or a nuisance or whatever it is. And it's like, no, like, it's all about the people. And if you don't like people, then don't be in this business, right? Don't be in a service-based business where you are going to be leading people. If you're not into that, then it's not for you. I don't know, like, go start an e-com store or do something else, right? But it's all about the people. And for me, fun is definitely a filter. Without a doubt, and it actually kind of gets me to a question I want to ask you next, because you said you're not money motivated, and I'm sure, and you've had a lot of different businesses, and I'm sure, have opportunities coming your way all the time. And so, and you can't say yes to everything because you're also like a balanced, like, living human being, father, husband, like you hunt, like you do all kinds of things.
If it's a hunting or fishing trip, I try to find a way to say yes every time.
Okay.
Try.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
But usually the catalyst is, hey, honey, do we have anything on the calendar? She already like knows what's coming. Do we have anything on the calendar these days? And then that's usually like my lead into like, cause I got this invite to go, like, in a couple weeks here, I'm going hog hunting in North Carolina.
That's something.
Hog hunting and catfishing. But it's with a client. It's with a client. So
it's business name. It's business.
Business.
It's business.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going on a business trip to hog hunt and catfish.
That's great. That's great. I love it. And paid for by, whatever. It's great.
Paid for by my wife, usually is what's yeah.
Hey friend, a quick break to ask you to please go to livebrightshow.com to be added to my email list. Here's the thing. I hate email, so I pretty much guarantee you're not going to receive anything excessive. Only important things like when I have new options in my coaching program, offer free challenges, new courses, release a new pod, or perhaps an occasional biz life tip. That's livebrightshow.com. Now back to the pod.
Tell me, those are easy decisions, but when you have like other business opportunities or speaking engagements, you travel around and speak and present, like how do you decide what to say yes to and what to say no to? Because the more successful you become, the more of those opportunities come flying at you, right?
I always try to, again, like I try to not make it be about money. Now, I don't like, I've had opportunities to like pay to go on stage. I'm just like, no, like I don't need to get paid to go on stage, but I'm just not going to pay to speak. Like, I think I can bring a lot of value. So I think you would be the one like to pay me to come, but I'll do it for free if it's the right audience, but I'm not going to pay you to go up on stage. So that's the thing. That's the thing I always wrestle with is like, I don't want to pay for stage time. Like I'm the one bringing the valuable thing.
Right.
I'll do it
your
for free.
Event.
I'll do it for free because that's who I am, but I don't want to pay to do it. If you want to pay me, just buy me like a Busch Light or two. That'd be about right.
So basic.
Yeah, real simple. But so like in business things, one of the lessons that I learned from like the partnership sequence that I went through is if I'm going to get involved in a business, if I'm the operator, it's just going to be me. Like I just don't, unless that other partner is bringing something crazy good to the table and we're working on it together, I don't want an investor. I could probably do a business partner if it's the right person. And actually, I heard this is totally inappropriate, but it's like the best line I've heard for business partnerships, which is if you're going to have a business partner, you need to be comfortable with them being naked with your spouse and they're not going to have sex with them. That's the catalyst to if somebody should be your business partner. Would you trust them naked with your spouse and they're not going to have sex with them? And I was like, I've never considered such a thing, but that's a pretty high bar. And so I feel like that's an intense level of trust.
Yeah, that's pretty so next level.
Yeah, I think like it really puts it out there. It's like, oh damn, that's serious. But I think a business partnership is that serious. And I wish somebody would have told me that decades ago. If I would have had that like mentality about it, maybe life would have been different. But so I think when I'm saying yes or no, if it's like a business opportunity and it's an investment thing, to me, I want to be like a minority investor. It's really important to me because I kind of feel like I got screwed over in this. The operator needs to have the most skin in the game. Partially because they should, because they're the thing running it. And as an investor, I'm just there to support. I'm not there to like gouge it and make a bunch of money. There's a lot of ways to make money. And like I said, I'm just not money motivated. So it's like, who can I help? I have a power washing business that I'm invested in and there's just no return requirement at all. It's like, let me know what you need. It's a friend of mine. There's some emotional things going on too. And so like my money is a tool for me to like support the people that I love and respect and want to see be successful. And so if it makes me money, cool. But that's not why I did it, right? I did it because I love that guy and I want to support that guy. And in a full circle, his previous business partners were my previous business partners and totally hung him out to dry. And I'm like, dude, I got you, man. Like, let me get in here and support you and we'll figure this out together. And so like, I want to use my money in that way. I don't want
it.
I mean, like again, I know how to run the business. And so the business will support me to go do the things I want to do. The business doesn't need to keep making me more money. It needs to make enough for me to pay my bills. And so that my wife doesn't think I'm just screwing around which I mostly am screwing around all the time. So let's not like split hairs here. She knows, she's like, Dan, I know you're going to these business events, but let's cut to the chase. You're going to drink beer with your friends. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. It's super true. But like, it's got to pay the bills. It's got to act like it's a business for my wife's sake. So she thinks I'm actually doing something useful. But then the profitability, and this is another thing I talked to our team about today, actually, is the growth of the business and the profitability of the business is just a mechanism to do more cool stuff for the customers and the employees. And one thing that as business owners, we're all supposed to be thinking about, but usually I just don't care about, but now I do, is what's our exit plan, right? What do we do when we're not the right person to be running this business anymore? Do we sell it? Who do we sell it to? What's the point of it? Is it a legacy thing? Do our kids run it? I don't know. But what's important to me is that it becomes theirs. Like, to me, I'm the shepherd, I'm the steward of it, and it's my job to make sure we get the right people to have it be theirs. But my long-term plan, and financially, I got to dial in where we can do this, and it'll uncover itself when we get there. But the goal is to turn it into an ESOP. So the business basically gets sold back to the employees, and that's how I get exited when they say, "Hey, crusty old Dan, you got to get your ass out of here, old timer." And I'll be like, "Good, because I'm going fishing with my coolers of Busch Light," if they still even make Busch Light when that comes. But that's the thing I'm really passionate about too, is like, it's an employee-driven business. It's all about the people. And so when I exit, it's not about like, how does Dan get the biggest payday ever? Again, it's like, it's just not an important thing to me. So how do I take care of all the people that took care of all of our clients and got us to this thing? Now, the one caveat to an ESOP for everybody that's like, that sounds awesome, is they cost like $200,000 to $300,000 to just set up an ESOP. Like,
They do?
yeah, there's like a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes that needs to happen, legality things. And then you got to pay somebody every year to do like an unbiased valuation of the company for exiting employees when they retire. They need to get bought out, and there's like a timeline to do that. And you have to have money set aside to do that. So it's almost like a trust, like somebody has to administer it, and it's very expensive to set it up. I haven't looked that far into it, but I know people that have set up ESOPs, and that's the understanding, is it's a few $100,000. So I did tell the team today, I was like, "Hey, we're at like the $800,000 base right now. We're probably not right there to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on an ESOP, but I think when we hit a few mil, like, then, I mean, it's still gonna be a big chunk of change out of the company's pocket, but it'll afford to be able to do that once it hits a high enough threshold." And so I'm
curious what that threshold.
That.
Yeah, I'm curious what you decide that threshold is, because I'm like 6 mil, somewhere in there. I'm not sure. Like, especially if you're planning on your business as part of your retirement plan and that sort of thing. But I love you're doing that. That's been in my brain too, although I haven't like looked into the details. Like, I did not know it's 200 or 300 just to set it up. But I think that's beautiful, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I am, my God, Dan, we're almost up on we're almost up.
Like I told you we started, like, I don't have a concern about what we're going to talk about. I just don't know how we're going to stop after like an hour. So I feel like this is a 4 hour episode.
Can I ask you, do you have time for a couple more questions?
I have like another hour and a half. The only thing, like, I have my time block to exercise, because eventually I'm supposed to get off my butt and like work out. So I'm not just a fat bookkeeper dude.
Okay.
But otherwise, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
As long as you want to go.
Okay. I don't have another hour and a half, but I do have a little more time. So I would love to spend a little more time with you.
Bring it.
So where does your, like, you are so, I mean, many starts to that sentence. Which is a problem when you go to edit a podcast. But anyway,
leave it all in there. When I podcast, all my stupidity of the way I ask questions, I'm just like, this is just Dan asking questions. So y'all get to deal with it if you want to listen to me.
You know what? And that's actually, one of my mentors told me this yesterday. She's like, stop, like, leave it in there. It's who you are. Like, it's part of your process, and forget about it. So this is all in. This is all staying. So let me ask you, you're so bright, like, and when I thought I'm going to have this show, like, I want, like, Dan's got to come on. You've had an interesting trajectory, and you got screwed over in that, I think, and I don't know if you want to talk about that or not, but in your last, bookkeeping venture with those partners, and that whole big venture, it was not bookkeeping, it was all kinds of businesses, that venture. And now you're doing your own thing, and part of being bright is like boldness, and that's confidence. And you seem to have a whole heck of a lot of it. And I love that about you. And you're not arrogant in my brain. Like, it's just confidence. Like, you know who the hell you are, and you're clear in that, and you're clear in your strengths. Where does that come from, man?
I just have done enough stupid stuff that I'm like, well, it can't get much worse than this. I feel like that's proud. Like,
really?
Like, I think I'm very comfortable screwing up and being awkward. And so I think confidence comes from that. Like if you're really comfortable with yourself and what you got going on, you can wear crazy ass socks, right? Because who gives a shit?
Who
You
gives
know?
a shit?
Yeah. And so like in my guidelines, and I don't think I had thought this all the way through, but when I was back in the corporate world, I was in this like leadership development thing, and I worked at Cargo, which is a huge agriculture company, 150,000 employees, and so massive corporation. But they had me, I don't know what they saw in me, but they had me in like some leadership program thing, and so I had one of the executive VPs that was like our coach,
Yep.
and she had asked me like, you know, what's really important to you, and my answer was happiness. Like that's it. For me, for everybody else, like life is short. I don't like bad attitudes, unthankful, ungrateful people. I just don't have any time for it because it's like, why are we wasting it? Like my kids, when they start whining, I'm like, what are we whining about? You have every freaking thing you could possibly want, and you're whining about like your mac and cheese is too hot or something. Like,
Right.
ain't no whining going on here. I don't deal with the crappy attitude very good. And so I think some of the confidence that you maybe see is just like a funny. I think I just don't care. I don't know if that's it, but
I love it.
I'm just doing my thing, and I'm really number one concerned about people around me being happy and trying to like have that impact. And as a leader, I think that's important too, right? We can't show up to work pissed off and in a crabby mood. Like
Totally.
we owe it to our team to like be somebody they want to follow. And so it's
Right.
just like it's part of my nature is to I want to be a person that those people want to follow so we can go do cool stuff. And so I think the confidence comes from that. It's just like I just don't really care if people are worried about what socks I'm wearing or that I got stuff in my teeth. Whatever whatever it is that's weird about what I'm doing. It's just me. I'm just doing it. So you can like it or not. I don't know, but I'm busy. I'm too busy having fun to worry about if you don't like it. I'm doing my thing.
I love it. I love it. What do you do? I heard you exercise. Obviously, what else do you do to kind of take care of yourself internally, like and physically? I mean, you exercise for the physical. That can also help with the internal stuff, but because I think you're probably genuinely a pretty joyful dude. Like you're a pretty happy guy. Like I'm a pretty happy person too, but life comes at us. There's shit that happens, and so how do you maintain like in the shit?
So I had a little bit. I was literally just like over the last weekend, I had that conversation with my wife because I was like, I just feel like I'm not as happy as I normally am. And every time I see that in myself, where I'm just like just not feeling it,
Yeah.
something's going on. It tends to be a lack of productivity. It tends to be a feeling of I'm not doing enough. And so I kind of tied it back to like I had a friend come into town for ice fishing, a business owner friend, so it was a business trip. But we were like up ice fishing, and then like after the holidays, and we're extra busy because like I said before we came on, like we launched a tax service, and so I got just tons of stuff to do. And if I start feeling like I'm behind on work stuff and taking care of our team and taking care of our employees, like that eats me up. It drives a ton of anxiety in me and it's always a lack of production. And I'll tell you what put me over the edge. And this is like total Dan, you're going to laugh. I'd like to do stuff for myself, right? Like as a business owner, we're supposed to be really good at delegating. And like, I'm okay at delegating some stuff, but my dryer broke and I'm like, let me watch some YouTube videos and I'm going to fix it. Right.
Right.
So I took the dryer. This has been going on since pre-Christmas.
Oh my God. You've got kids.
Yeah. Good thing the in-laws live close. We've been doing laundry runs. We actually went to hang out with some friends and Marty, my wife, was like, hey, can I bring a basket of wet laundry over to dry while we're hanging out? We brought 2 loads. We brought 2 loads to the dryer. We're like, this is going to be awkward. But we're bringing some whiskey and we're bringing some wet clothes.
Undies.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I like to do those sorts of things. Not all the time, right? Like if my furnace goes out or my hot water heater goes out, I'm probably calling somebody, except the furnace in my fish house went out. And that became a thing I worked on. But I like tinkering. I like taking stuff apart. I'm a nerdy bookkeeper. I don't get to like be handy that often.
Right.
And my wife thinks it's hot when I'm handy. So I try to like do stuff to be handy just to like get some attention.
Totally. Yeah,
Um,
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I took the dryer apart. I felt pretty proud of that. I watched a couple YouTube videos. I had that thing taken apart. I had the drum out. I figured out it was the belt that was making the squeaking noise and causing it to have issues. I identified the problem, or at least what I thought was the problem. And then I bought a dryer repair kit thingy that came with a belt. And then the belt was too small. So then I ordered another belt and then I put that on and the dryer worked for like a day. And then that belt got shredded. And I was like, okay, that didn't work. And then I ordered a pulley arm and a new belt. And then I put the belt on and I was like, this doesn't work either. This belt's too small. And then I ordered a new belt and that came and it was the same damn. So this is over the last 3 weeks here. The new belt came yesterday and it was the same damn part number and same damn size as I have 4 belts now because I bought the dryer repair kit. That was the wrong belt. Then I bought the right belt, put it on, but it got shredded. Then I bought a replacement one, put it on, saw where it was getting shredded, thought, hey, that might be the wrong belt actually. So went and bought specifically the right belt this time. I was sure of it. And it came and it had the same damn part number as the last belt. And I was like, shit, now I got 4 belts, one that's wrong, one that's shredded, and then 2 that are the same as the one that's shredded, but they're just going to shred if I put them on here. And so the part that was shredding them, I just, grabbed a hammer and a wrench and I bent it. And now the dryer's working great. So.
I just have to say, I asked the question.
Yeah, how did we get here?
The question I asked was, what do you do to take care of yourself internally?
I take fix dryers. But, okay, let me bring this back full circle. I tend to find, and I think this is actually a real thing, like with our employees to be thoughtful of is I see that happiness comes from pride. Like not hubris, not like overconfidence, too much pride, but like we get pride in doing hard things. And whenever if I see somebody that was raised with a lot of money and never really had to work for it, they're not happy, right? Not everybody. I have one kid that was in one of my CEO groups, hardest working dude I ever met, but he's out there getting pride. Super wealthy family, but he doesn't care. He's just out working his ass off, doing his own thing. Like he got the right lessons. But I've seen plenty of people not get a hard work ethic, not know how to work hard, and then they're miserable, right? Because you can only like play so many video games or take so many shortcuts or think you're doing things that like in the short term make you happy, but they create no long-term happiness. Long-term happiness doesn't come from money, doesn't come from video games, doesn't come from goods or trips or anything. Like it comes from doing hard shit and earning something so then you can go do the fun thing. But if you didn't earn it, you don't enjoy the fun thing anyway. And so I want could I have hired somebody to do my dryer thing? It probably would have been done faster and probably cheaper after 4 belts. Hell yeah. But they won't be sitting here talking to you being like, I fucking did it. Right? Fix that dryer.
All right. No, I hear you. So I love that. And I totally get what you're saying in terms of happiness coming from a sense of working through something, getting through a struggle, getting to the other side of it and feeling pride and being like, yeah, I fucking did that. I did that. And I totally get that. I was thinking about recently, my wife and I did a little self-guided couples retreat where we were looking at our why and our vision and our joint vision. And it was really fun. And I realized that so many of the times when I've been happiest is when I have worked hard through something and gotten to the other side of it. And cause we were giving examples and telling stories and, and I have been reflecting on that because I'm like, well, I don't want all happiness to come from hard work. Like there's something in there for me to muddle through and learn from, but so much of it comes from that sense of like, I fucking did it, man. So I get it, even if it's a dryer or whatever.
Then the next thing, so it doesn't always have to come from the hard work, because then the next thing is you get to have an ice cold beer and then you can be happy about that too. So last night I got done with the dryer, had a couple beers. It was great. I was happy
Perfection.
Again. Nailed it.
Again. Maybe it'll break again tomorrow and you can fix it and you can get happy and then you can have another ice cold beer at the end of that and you'll be double happy.
If that thing breaks again, I think happiness is gonna be hard to come by for a while. I think I might just
buy a new dryer.
but I think we get through something hard and then we get to enjoy something, right? We usually give ourselves a reward for getting through something hard. And so it's kind of funny. It's and I don't know if it's just a small business owner thing. I don't think it is, which is, like I said, why I think there's so much more depression and kids are having a hard time finding their way these days is because like when we grew up, you just had to work hard. Like there wasn't screens in front of you all over the place. Like the only way to get where you wanted to go was like ride your bike. You just had to work hard on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is kind of going away. So you almost need to like manufacture those opportunities. And so I do find like because of the way the world is, like there's a reason why I get up in the middle of the day and go exercise. Like I can't just sit here all day. I got to get up and move around and like create something to be proud of. Middle of the day works good for me because I can like block my calendar and check out. Like morning's tough and afternoon with 3 little kids is impossible. So it's like, now's the time. Got to do it.
Yeah. Good.
But you got to manufacture. You like got to make time to go do hard stuff. And I don't know that everybody's wired that way, but I definitely think it is a human nature to and like feel really good when you overcome something hard. Nobody tells stories. Nobody tells stories about the time that stuff was easy. Right. In our businesses, when we're talking to other business owners, we tell stories about the really difficult customers, the employees, like, can you believe this? Like, and then we get joy out of it later, which is kind of senile. A little bit. We get joy out of telling stories about the most painful parts of our business lives. But like, because it's shit we overcame. Like we do have joy in it. It sucked at the moment, but it's type 2 fun. It's fun later.
Yeah. Oh, type 2 fun. I like that. Hey, have you heard about I think it's a Japanese concept of a masoji? And I might be saying it wrong, but have you heard of this? It's like choosing a massive thing to do. Like I think that like there's a movement to do them annually, but like something massively hard that you're going to have to work on and overcome. It's like pushing that boulder up the hill. Like, and a lot of people, and I'm seeing it in the entrepreneurial sphere a bunch with folks that have like, they have a certain amount of freedom, so they can go and do and whatever, but they're choosing a masoji a year. And again, I might not be saying the word correctly.
Seen anybody choose fixing a dryer? Has anybody done that as their masoji?
That's what came to mind. That's why I wanted to talk about it. But I feel like that'd be so appealing to you. Like I've got mine for the year. I'm running a marathon in April. Like that's a big freaking deal for me that I'm going to run a marathon. I've never run a marathon. I've run a half marathon. It's requiring like a lot of preparation. It's obviously the physical, there's the nutritional, there's the mindset, there's the travel that's going to be involved. There's a whole bunch of pieces involved, but then I'm not sure what I'm going to do because it's only going to be April. So I don't know if I need to choose another masoji after that, but
check the box. Just checking the box too early almost.
I know. I'm just, ahead of myself. But yeah, I think that could be appealing to you. Let me ask you, I don't know, Dan, like I said, we could talk forever. So I want to let you go.
We totally
exercise. We got to figure out when we're going to see each other in real life because it's always really fun when we do like in person. But let me wrap up with just a little bit of rapid fire fun. Not that we haven't had enough fun already, but a little like rapid fire fun and then a more serious question actually, I'm going to do the more serious question now, and then we're going to wrap with the rapid fire.
Excellent.
All right.
I like it.
Okay. So tell me this, you have a pretty awesome life and you've got a lot of freedom for business trips, as you say, and you've got 3 kids, you've got a wife, like you've got a lot going on. And you're truly like what I would say you're living bright. Do you feel like you've done this more by design? Or is it more luck that's gotten you here?
I think it's design now. I think when I was younger, I just knew I learned somewhere in high school and college to like just work really hard. And I didn't really know why, but I kept finding that it would make me feel good, right? Like, and I wanted to be smarter and wanted to learn stuff. And then I became really aware that like that hard work was the thing that fueled me. And so I kind of craved it. Right. And I think that's probably why I left the corporate world and actually came into the small business world was this is a way cooler opportunity to work hard. I make less money than I did. That was 10 years ago. I still make less money than I did. But again, it's not a motivator for me, but it's like it became super intentional at that point was I want to go create the opportunity to have ultimate freedom and flexibility and to create my own hard work. And not be given hard work by somebody else who's just in it for the money. Like that was just always what it felt like in the corporate world. I could work my ass off and I got paid well to work my ass off, but it wasn't my hard work. It was somebody else's hard work. Right. And so I just wanted it to be my choice. And even if it was worth less monetarily, it was still my hard work, and it's more fun that way. So
I love
think
that.
now
And you get to create
intentional.
you create your own schedule. You're going for a run in the middle of the day. Like, I love that. Yeah, I think.
Oh, I ain't going for a run. It's fucking cold out, Molly.
I thought you said you're going out for a run. What are you doing?
No, I'm gonna go downstairs and work out. I got the TV with the videos. I run like all summer long, all spring, summer, fall. And actually today maybe it is 35 out right now. I probably could go outside.
You can run, big baby.
Yesterday it was -6. So in like in 2 days it's gonna be -20. So I was conditioned to be like, I'm not running outside. It's -6, but it is like warm today. Maybe I will go.
It's warm. It's 35 degrees.
35.
Yeah.
There's gonna be puddles around now. It's probably the snow's melting. We're gonna have puddles. It could be gross.
You could put on some crampons, like those spikes on your shoes.
Cleats, the little cleats.
Yeah, you could run.
I got those for ice fishing. Ice fishing. Got to run down a tip up every once in a while.
Run down what?
A tip up? You don't know what a tip up is. So that was just an obscure comment. It's like a fishing line. You drill a hole out somewhere and you put a line down and there's a flag on it. And when the fish bites your bait, there's a spindle, like a spool at the bottom. The spool turns, spindle turns, flag pops up, and then everybody else tip up, and you run, and then you hand line it in like you are the fishing pole. Super fun.
It's like real. I was about to say it doesn't sound like fishing. It's totally fishing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden a fish comes flying out through the ice. Pull it up.
When you stick in a frying pan and have some.
Usually you would clean it first. Usually you would like take the bones out and the guts out and stuff. This ain't Alone. We're not on the show Alone. But yeah, we'll eat them up.
Okay. Amazing. I actually did go, I've been ice fishing once when I was like a child, like 7 or something like that. And I remember I'm from Vermont, and I think it was perch that they got like out of the lake, and they were little, and maybe they cleaned them, but they didn't take the bones out because they were so little, and they would just batter them and fry them.
Yeah. With a small perch, you would gut it and scale it. Like you got to take the scales off, and there's like, you can scrape them off and then you can fry them with the skin on. Okay. Not my jam. Some people love it. Not my jam.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, maybe on the next pod, what we do together, you can give us more recipes on
I'll give you a tutorial
tips.
on some hunting and fishing, butchering tactics.
Perfect. Okay. All right, Dan.
To that point, and this you're gonna be like, oh, of course. So I kill most of my own meat. We have 4 freezers. I had to buy a 4th one this year, and when I bought that one, I just got like the biggest one I could find, because most of it I shoot my own deer and catch my own fish and butcher it all myself. My buddy and I cleaned and processed 15 deer this year. It was 500 and some pounds of meat, but because we've also bought some pork to mix with it. 4 days we were in his garage, like he's got a heater and a TV, so we were setting up and we just butcher shopped it. Like brats, bacon, summer sausage, sticks, 150 pounds of steaks turned into jerky. It was nuts. It was like we had 3 metal tables laid out, stacked with meat when we were all done with it. It was pretty cool. But now I can officially say, like, if I'm cooking for people, nobody else touched this. Nobody ever touched it besides me.
No, that's pretty amazing. I was thinking I was kind of a boss because I made my own yogurt last week.
Oh, that's pretty badass too.
But I hear this and I'm like, holy cow, like it's a whole other level. That's amazing. No, good for you.
Nuts.
Actually I have a lot of respect for that. That's most of us just we don't understand meat, and it just comes from the grocery store, right? And so being that close to it, I would think like would give you a whole other sense of respect. And of course there's like all these health benefits and all kinds of things.
Like there's nothing better than a tomato you pick from your own garden, right? Like it's just so much better. And it's the same way. It's like and probably some of it's mental because you did it, right? Because you have some pride in it and it's fun and it's hard work.
Right.
And meat's the same way. It's like if you went out and got it and did all the hard work and then made awesome stuff out of it, I don't know that it tastes any better, but it sure as hell does to me. So
of course. Awesome. All right, Dan. All right. Well, I'm just going to ask you a few wrap up questions. Thank you. Oh, before I do that, where can people follow you, get in touch with you?
Bestdamnbookkeeping.com is a good spot. If you want bookkeeping help, book a demo on there and we'll nerd out on your business for like an hour. Facebook, I think I'm the only Dan Platta out there. And then I've got the Home Service Happy Hour podcast if you want to listen to me talk smart over and over again.
It's a good podcast. It's a good podcast.
I view it as like the Joe Rogan experience of business podcasts, because we have done a 3-hour episode before. It's just open ended, and they just keep going for as long as they go for.
How many bush lights is that? How many bush lights is that on the 3-hour?
I think it was 4, and then we wrapped up because we both really had to pee. That was like, it was just like, oh man, we got out of here. Yeah, Home Service Happy Hour podcast. It's on all your podcast feeds, and there's a YouTube channel for it, a Facebook group, and Instagram. Go do like a at Home Service Happy Hour, and it'll be out there somewhere, wherever you get your content.
Okay, cool. And we'll put that all in the show notes. Awesome. I'm glad I asked that, because that's a whole lot of places. All right. So quick questions, little rapid fire, just like whatever comes into your brain.
Sounds dangerous.
It's not. It's fun. It's fun. All right. So I'll start you out easy. What's your favorite pizza?
I'm like a supreme everything. Give me the meat. Give me the veggies.
All right. All right. Cool. What's your next vacation spot?
We're going to Costa Rica with the kiddos. First time they've ever been out of the country. First time the 2-year-old Crosby, my boy, has been on an airplane. So it's just gonna be freaking hilarious. So super excited.
That's awesome.
Get them.
When are you doing that?
Second week in March, I think, is their spring break. So
That's awesome.
For the kiddos' spring break, it'll be cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I was there like a couple years ago. It's great. Yeah, you're gonna have a ton of stuff to do with them. That's amazing.
Marty and I honeymooned there, and we haven't been back since. So it'll be a nice get on back to Costa Rica. Nice.
Get your honeymoon on with 3 kids.
Yeah, with 3 little kids running around. It'll be great. So romantic.
Awesome. I like how you roll. All right. What's your favorite holiday?
Dude, I treat every day like it's a holiday. I'm pretty funny. My birthday will come and go and I won't know it. I just don't, I try to treat every day like it's my birthday, and I try to treat every day like it's a holiday. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Memorial Day, which is a weird one, but it coincides with when fishing is getting really good. And so it's like a long weekend to do a bunch of fishing.
So I'm tempted to stop right there because I feel like you just wrapped it up really, really well. So I'm going to stop it there. Every day is a holiday. We're done. Dan, this was so much fun. Thank you for coming on the Live Bright show. And it was true pleasure. Really good time.
Would be. I knew it would be. I'm glad it delivered. It
did, and tons of learning. So that's all, folks. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Live Bright Show. Boom. Until next time. Thanks, Dan.
See you, Molly.
And that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Live Bright Show. If you enjoyed this pod, please go to livebrightshow.com to be in the know for new program offerings and podcast releases. Molly has more awesome guests and content coming your way, so you're going to want to be on that list. Also, just because you're still listening, it would be incredible if you could go ahead and subscribe to this podcast and provide the show with a 5-star review. You know how they help. Go forth, have fun, and live bright, friends.